Hi, my name is Karla Campos, and I'm here with John Saunders, one of the speakers at Social Tech Live, and Joseph Aquilino, one of my very good friends, and we usually co-host these kind of sessions together. He's here for support and to talk to us about how social tech affects our businesses. Now, John's going to be speaking at Social Tech Live about how he has used the power of video to create amazing courses that sell. So I'm going to pass it on to Joseph so he can tell you more about himself. And I'm the founder of Social Tech Live conferences because I feel that technology really is a big deal when it comes to growing people and their businesses, and these conferences really help get education out there, get people together to know each other and do business together. So that's pretty much my mission behind the conferences. And on to you, Joseph.
Hi, everybody. Joe Aquilino in the house. Joey Giggles. You know me from WIR Internet Radio. That's right, Spreaker.com/Joey Giggles. Really excited to be here. I'm happy that Karla invited me to come on in and co-host with her. And really excited to get to meet a great man, John, and we're going to actually talk to him today a little bit about this conference that's coming up in the summer. So I can't wait. This is going to be awesome conversation with John. Looking forward to it, Karla. Looking forward to it.
Hi.
Hi, John. How are you?
Oh, hey. That was my cue. Sorry, I totally missed that.
This is my face. I'm sorry.
I'm happy to be here with Karla and Joey. Karla really just reached out to me and said that she'd love for me to be one of the speakers at the event, and I was happy to oblige. I'm a big proponent of just providing quality content to entrepreneurs, business owners, totally free, so that they can use that, absorb it, and use it to help their businesses excel. So I'm the founder of 54 Digital. We're a small boutique shop. We have 4 teammates on our team currently. We all work remotely in South Florida, so that's why I'm able to work at the home office, of course. And I'm a big proponent as well for video content. So video marketing, Facebook has really been a big part of that because it's so inexpensive to market on there. And online courses have really excelled as well because of the ease of access for individuals to get on these courses, take the course, ask questions, and they're really affordable as opposed to of course a traditional college education. And yeah, that's pretty much the gist of my intro. If you guys have any questions or anything you want me to talk about specifically, I'll be happy to break into it.
Awesome.
So how did you start creating courses? Because that's the session you're going to be talking about at Social Tech Live.
Yeah, no, definitely. So for me, it was about, my first course and my only course right now that we're actually working on a new one right now for social media development, but the course that we made first was for web design and just an overall compass of a business owner or someone who has a tangible idea and they need to create a website, they need to do their SEO, they need to set up their social media platforms. So the first idea was, a lot of times when we were prospecting for clients, we'd sit down with them, we kind of analyze their problems and their issues, and then we'd say, okay, well, we have a proposed plan, a proposal ready to go. Here's the proposal and here's the pricing. And then, in some cases, they would be like, oh, well, that's too high, I can't really afford that. And I understand, if you're a business owner starting out, you can't afford to drop, 5, 10, 15 grand on web development because you're just starting out. You need that money to allocate towards other resources. So I was like, you know what? Well, what I can do is take a side project and then create this online course where I'll teach you how to do, simple web development where you can at least showcase your services, and about us, a few calls to action, whereas you can create all of this yourself as well as do the SEO, set up the social media. You just have to allocate the time. So if you don't have a lot of money, you might have a little bit more time. And using that, I was like, okay, let's launch this course and make it really affordable for people to take the course and ask questions on, in like a college type of format. And Udemy was the platform that we used just because they take care of a lot of the user interface and experience on that site. So Udemy was, of course, the platform that I chose.
That's really good. It's really awesome that you chose that platform. I want to know a little bit more about your services. If you could please tell us a little bit more about the services you do offer people.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So 54 Digital, we're primarily digital marketing consultants. So a company could be like, how can we leverage our site better? How can we, make money online? For example, we just finished a project with Community Health of South Florida. They're a hospital syndicate that has 11 locations. So, we proposed a plan of attack where we basically did their website design, did all of their on-site SEO, content marketing, and then the last piece of what we do is just the marketing strategy, and that can include Facebook ads, that can include AdWords, which is PPC or pay-per-click. So it's really just the whole digital marketing gamut, but more so from a strategic side where every client will have different services and different things that we focus on.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So, as a digital marketing agency, owner and person who operates one, what are your thoughts on kind of working with other marketing agencies in these conferences and coming together in these kind of events to grow your business? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's awesome. Like me and Joey were just Joey and I were just having a conversation where he was like, in corporate America, it's kind of like dog eat dog. Everybody's after each other's job, and in the entrepreneurial space, everybody kind of leverages each other. David Verano, who's a good friend, he helps me with a lot of the social media projects and strategies that I worked on. So, for example, we worked with the mayor of Hialeah. I was like, okay, well, I know David's well versed in that area. He's worked in Hialeah on a few projects. I'm going to bring him in and help me with this project, and we created a whole strategy based on that. So I think, as an entrepreneur, especially as a smaller agency, I think it's great to be able to leverage other people in the space that might excel at certain things more than I can, so I might hire a local app developer to work on an app that we're working on. And I think it's great to be able to use people that are entrepreneurs themselves and help them build their clientele also.
Definitely. I want to get more into the live streaming. We were talking about this earlier. The whole idea of active live streaming, seeing each other face to face, chatting with one another face to face, getting to know people, getting to bond with one another, getting to network over live streaming. What do you think about live streaming, and how is live streaming going to help your business?
Oh, I think it's awesome, and that's a great question. I think it's great because it's more raw and authentic when you're talking to someone face to face. I think hearing a person's voice, seeing them in a natural environment, it's just more inviting. I feel like I know you now, as opposed to, if I send you a message on Twitter and we were exchanging via Facebook. It's kind of cooler to see the person and see their reaction to things that you're saying. To help the business, I think it could be great because, this could be another. So for our next course, we're going to host it ourselves. With Udemy, it's a great platform. I love it. But I feel as though, we can have more power and more efficiency if we host it ourselves. And with that being said, what we could have is, live chat where we get on a chat for an hour or a couple hours every week, and anyone can ask questions about the course or specific things that they want to know. So I think it just adds another level of interaction with, your peers.
Awesome.
And the good thing about live streaming also that a lot of the platforms offer that they save it into video, and that's one of the topics of the session you're going to be having at Social Tech Live, how you use video to bring in people to these courses. So I don't want to dig in too deep about your next course, but do you plan to use live streaming maybe in your new course that you're going to be creating?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I have the structure and everything laid out, and now that we've had this conversation, I'm starting to rethink a little bit about, some of the components. Maybe even have an aspect where we do, 1.5 hours a week where we sit down and we talk about a specific topic of the course that people are having problems with, right? So if I get a lot of questions regarding, I had issues with this, I didn't understand this, maybe make that the core focus of a weekly live feed where we can do it on Blab or Google Hangouts and people can just check in. And then what we could do is save that like we're doing live, maybe transcribe it into text, and then use that as a blog post, in the upcoming months. So no, that's great. I love that we're having this live conversation. You guys are giving me more ideas.
Well, that's great. You know, that's honestly great because that's what we do as entrepreneurs. We actually brainstorm and we help each other brainstorm new ideas. You
Yeah.
know, and where do you see yourself in 5 years, my friend? Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
That's a good question. So for me, so I have two mentors. I mean, I don't know if I can call them mentors because I never really talked to them, but you know, I watch a lot of their videos, read a lot of their content. So number one is Gary Vaynerchuk. I don't know if you guys have heard of him, but he's super dope social media, just genius. He's built like 2 successful companies. He's really he's kind of rambunctious. He's honest, you know, he curses, but he's authentic, you know, and that's the main thing that I like. So I'm not saying I want to be Gary Vee, but I'd like to do more speaking engagements, more traveling and meeting companies and helping them on a consulting basis that way. And then the second person that I really admire is Neil Patel. He's another marketer in our industry. You know, he's worked with Google, he's worked with the White House, and he provides a lot of just great content for free. And I just want to get to a point where I can go into, you know, a bigger business or even, you know, bigger nonprofits and say, okay, this is the strategy I think you guys could use. And yeah, so ultimately be a marketing consultant, whereas I have the freedom to kind of travel and help these larger businesses.
And you know, in this space, there's a lot of competition in the speaking industry, and maybe not enough events. So how do you think these events kind of help, and how does public speaking help you grow your business? I think sometimes people don't understand that aspect.
No, that's true. So with me, you know, growing up as a kid, I was usually like an introvert. You know, I was into comic books, kind of a nerd. I had friends, but I wasn't really just extroverted and outgoing. So with me, you know, I took public speaking in college because I wanted to be more outgoing. I wanted to be able to speak to people and talk in public settings, and that, you know, that helped me to a certain point. And then I felt as though doing public speaking, it's kind of out of my comfort zone, and I always felt like if you're in your comfort zone, you can never kind of excel or get to where you want to be, right? You kind of have to be outside of your comfort zone. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to sign up. I'm going to do this. And one of the first things I did was with a good friend. She actually moved to New York. Her name's Alex Wall. Karla knows her. She's like, hey, you know, do you mind speaking at this event? I did it, and, you know, I was nervous as hell when I started. And then as I got up there and started talking about what I know, you know, it just becomes easier. It's just that jitters right before. So I feel like that helps me in the business because it helps me become, you know, not a better salesperson, but making it easier to talk to people, to speak to people, to uncover their concerns, to be able to respond to questions. So I think public speaking is great for that. And with public speaking, you know, I'm not looking to make any money anytime soon. If I can, and if I can build myself up to that point where I can, that's awesome. But I really feel like it just helps with exposure and just social media proof.
Mm-hmm. I want to ask more of a personal question here. And you started out, we were talking, you know, in a corporate place, sort of a corporate place, and you understood, you know, that it was a corporate world, you know, and you wanted to branch out and start your own business and be your own boss. What made you make that step from that corporate place to where you are today? What made you want to go from a steady paycheck to a risk that you didn't know that was going to work?
No, you're right, and you know, for me, it was a risk, and it was a calculated risk. I feel as though also because, you know, while I was at that agency working full time, you know, I was helping friends with projects. So they were like, hey, you know, John, you mind building a website for me? I was like, sure. You know, I did a lot of this stuff for free because I didn't really have a portfolio. So I was like, you know what? I'll go home. You know, I'll hang out with my lady for a little while, and then after that, I'll go back to work. So around 10 p.m., you know, I'd go back to work, and I'd, you know, start building websites, doing social media campaigns for friends and family. And that's how I started to build clientele without even thinking about it. You know, when I left the agency, I already had 6 clients that were paying me on a recurring payment. And I was like, you know, this is enough money for me to survive the next few months, and then I can just start building out the business that way. So that's how it happened for me. I was kind of doing stuff not on the side behind the agency's back, because we primarily dealt with automotive clients, but just helping friends and family build out their marketing strategies, thus, you know, helping me build my portfolio.
And it seems like that's kind of the way most people go. They sort of, well, a lot of the newbies think that they quit their job and then they're going to have clients like right away. But,
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. So what do you have to say to these newbies that want to start like their agency or want to get away from corporate America and start their own thing?
Yeah, so I mean, if you're looking to get into marketing, I say, anytime you're not at the job, and listen, I know if you're working at an ad agency, it's a lot of time. I was there from like 8 to 7, 8 to 8. I was there late sometimes. It's just agency life. But anytime you're not there, if you have some time on the weekend, study online, look on Google. I mean, Neil Patel's blog has tons of content. There's a lot of bloggers, just tons and tons of content that you can learn from. If you're like, I want to learn SEO, you can find a 30-page doc or PDF on the basics of SEO. And you can teach yourself within a few weeks the basics and the logistics and then put it to practice by, building out a website or doing something like that. So I feel like the internet has become really just a catalyst of growth and opportunity to learn absolutely free. You can pay for a course, yeah, $30, $40. That's $30, $40 that you're putting towards, self-realization and building up your own empire, right? So I feel as though my best advice would be to absorb as much as you can. If you can, find a mentor, someone local that you can talk to and ask questions. It can even be over the phone. And then the last thing is just apply what you're learning. Just practice with friends and family. Offer them either a discounted rate or do it for free. If you're starting out, you're gonna have to build your portfolio anyway.
Mm-hmm. I got again a personal question. Within you, how do you feel? Your emotions, I guess. Owning your own business. How do you feel? I mean, how does it feel to own your own business? How does it feel to be your own boss?
Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, the thing right now is everybody's entrepreneur. Everybody's doing their own thing. Everybody's it's kind of like the cool thing to be right now. And for me, I just feel as though I've always wanted the freedom to be able to work on the projects that I wanted, to be able to work when I wanted to. And you think when you become an entrepreneur, I'm going to work on the beach every day. I'll be hanging out. And at the end of the day, it's not like that. Unless you got a couple million in the bank, you can't really live to that extent. But one day a week, I can go to the beach and I can work from there. You know what I mean? I can go to the gym at 12 p.m. on a Tuesday, and it's just I think. For me, it's more so the freedom to work how I want to, when I want to, within the framework of the business.
And kind of following on that, the other day I was like literally on the floor of my bathroom crying because I didn't have, things weren't going exactly as I planned. But I'm a girl, so I don't know if that's excusing myself, but it's like an emotional roller coaster. I think people don't talk about it, but it hits you hard when things are not going, and you have to keep kind of restructuring things and just kind of overcoming those hurdles. It's not like all the prettiness that we kind of portray on social media or online. There's a lot of little hills that we go up.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Hell yeah, I agree. And no, that's a good point, Karla. I mean, a lot of people think it's all, hey, I'm in my Benz, I got my Audemars watch, but there's a lot that comes with the lifestyle. You have to think about longevity. You have to think about, your family, your friends, supporting other people. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. But I traded all for just this freedom to be able to work and do my thing on my own time. So like they say, you'll work 80 hours for yourself instead of working 40 hours for someone else. So yeah, no, it's true. It's true.
Awesome. Yeah, I got a thought-provoking question for you now. Okay, but I just wanted to say on that. I wanted to say on that point that it is a lot of risk. There is, a lot of reward, though. There is a lot of risk in entrepreneurialism, but there's a lot of reward as well. So on that point that she brought up, definitely, you have to keep restructuring. You have to, keep moving forward and, keep rebranding if you need to rebrand, But still, it is a lot of risk, but you get a lot of reward out of it. So I just wanted to, throw that in to that point. But here's your thought-provoking question. Now, I'm looking at this like this. I'm saying to myself, wow, it's today the tech revolution, like in 1920 there was the industrial revolution. So what do you think? I mean, do you think we right now, because if you remember back in the industrial revolution, that's when they started building the businesses that we see today. J.P. Morgan Chase, Goldman Sachs, all of those businesses that we see today. Do you see this as a tech revolution, meaning a new industrial revolution.
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely 100%. It's crazy right now. I mean, I watch this one guy on Instagram. He's got a few million followers. A few years ago, this guy was in it's kind of messy. This guy was in jail, and he was just trying to figure out what he was going to do when he got out. You know, he didn't want to go to school, he didn't want to do certain things, so he just started making little skits on Instagram, and now, you know, he makes more money on Instagram doing his comedic videos than he would on a full season of a TV show. So I think the revolution is here right now. I mean, kids are out here making crazy money. There's 15, 16-year-old kids creating apps and developing apps and creating all this content, and they have the world to expose them to this. You know, they can develop an app or learn how to do it absolutely free online through Code Academy or through other online ventures. So I think right now, if you're a young kid, if you're an older guy, if you're in your 60s or 70s, you don't really have much to lose if you start an e-commerce business or try to develop an app. You might be out, you know, a couple $100s or $1,000, but you know you'll have learned something, and you can develop all these ideas and skills mostly for free. So I think it's definitely a tech revolution. I call it the tech renaissance right now. It's crazy.
And touching on that, when you talk about kids and how, you know, now they can actually work, and I know in the past people were abusing kids, but, you know, I have kids and they're always, hey, I want to start a business. Hey, I need money for this. I want to buy this. But, you know, I think work gives people, it shows kids the responsibility they need as adults. So I think for kids to work is important. Of course, not being taken advantage of, but, you know, it takes them off like the street. It keeps them out of trouble. I mean, that's an amazing part of what you call the renaissance of tech, the technology renaissance. So, you know.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. And, you know, I still think it's good to have experience working for a business or working for someone else, just because you can learn a lot of things from that. You know, most of my life I worked for someone else, and I was able to learn a lot of things that I should do, things that I shouldn't do, things that should change. So I think it's important to work for someone at some point in your life. But yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I worked for 8 companies in 11 years, so I have to say that I worked for a series of bosses, okay? So I did learn something from each, okay? I found out, you know, after my injury, that corporate America for me, you know, and I found out that I was an entrepreneur because I always had these ideas that popped into my mind. I always had these creative ideas that popped in there, and I was developing them in my mind and trying to implement them. And now finally they've come to fruition. I mean, so how do you feel about that creativity that you always get in your mind and putting it together to formulate all these wonderful things that you do?
Yeah. Man, it's definitely, it can be a challenge sometimes because I have you know, I'll be up late one night in bed just thinking about ideas and going through things in my head. I'm like, oh, well, that's a good idea. Let me write that down. And then, you know, I'll implement it for a couple of days and be like, you know, I don't know if this is going to work. So I've tried to kind of focus my efforts around the business and ideas around the business. But I definitely try to wean out the ones that I feel as though, okay, well, do I think this is going to be beneficial? You know, how much time is this going to take? And that sort of thing. But, you know, in this day and age with the internet, you know, it's made it a lot easier to build out this stuff. Like, you know, if you wanted to start an e-commerce business, you can literally find a drop shipper, get the products. You don't even have to have an inventory. You don't even have to have the products housed, and then just market those products, and then boom, you can have a successful business without having any overhead whatsoever. So it's, I mean, maybe like $50 if you're doing like a Shopify website for the hosting and stuff. So $50 a month, and you can create an e-commerce business. So it's definitely crazy right now. And I think I just went off on a tangent because that didn't answer your question, but
That's okay. That's all right.
I don't know what
creativity and action. Like the idea is just flowing, like right now, right here. Creative people have like lots of stuff going on in their mind at once. Sometimes I'm like here, then I'm here. I'm like, people, what are you talking about?
Oh,
let me just calm my ADD for a second. So, I mean, it's been great talking to you guys. We've been on for a little bit of time now, and I have to run anyway. I have to get my kids from school.
Gotcha.
So, closing this off, we talked a lot about entrepreneurship. We talked about a lot of technology and social technology, coming together, working together. And you can actually check out the conference at socialtechlive.com, and the hashtag also on social media is socialtechlive.com. So my name is Karla Campos. I'm signing off. Any last words from both of you guys over there?
Take care, guys. Catch me on Spreaker.com/Joey Eagles every day. Come on down.
Just check out the video blog. It's youtube.com/54digital. We post every single week new marketing content for free for entrepreneurs. So this is John Saunders signing out, and I appreciate you guys having me on. It was awesome.
Well, thank you for being on, guys. Joey runs an awesome radio show. John has amazing videos. I've seen them pass my newsfeed. I've commented on his videos a couple of times, telling him how great his work is. So check them out. Check you guys later. Social Tech Live.
All right, guys. Have a good one.